Greetings from the flagship campus. I just wanted to review a simple concept that I think is often overlooked when teaching, or maybe even in your own mind when practicing, that may actually help focus your attention in an area to give you some better results in ball striking. And this concept is simply what makes a ball roll and what makes a ball fly when it's on the ground. So, since our golf ball is played off the ground, this concept is critical to understand because otherwise we may do something that is an incorrect concept, and that can actually shape our golf swing. So, first, I'm going to start with this model ball. And what you'll see here is that there's a seam that runs across the center. Basically, it's a round sphere, so it has an equator. And these two T's basically indicate where that equator is. Uh, what happens here is that if we ever strike a golf ball above this line, then what it actually does is it drives the golf ball down into the ground and gives it topspin. If we hit it on the equator, then the ball will begin sliding a little bit along the ground, and then it starts to roll. And if we strike the ball below the equator, then we will actually create compression and backspin that allows the golf ball to launch up into the air. So if we're putting, then we would definitely want to strike the golf ball in an area that is just below the equator. We know the golf ball weighs a little bit, so it's sitting down in a depression in the grass. And so a little bit of loft on the putter will strike it just below the equator and will launch the ball out of its depression, and then the ball will start rolling. And that gives us the best roll when putting. If we strike it above the equator, again, that'll drive the ball into the ground, which may be functional if you really want the ball to hop and have a lot of topspin. But typically, all it's going to do is drive the ball into the ground and not a functional golf shot. So what we need to do is learn to compress the golf ball, and compression is actually smashing this ball underneath the equator, and that allows the golf ball to launch into the air and fly. So what we do is we use a lofted golf club so that we can actually make what we would call a descending angle of approach. We come down at this golf ball and strike the golf ball on the club face just below the equator. And I'll try to get this aligned so you can actually see where this would be compressed. It's someplace around the fourth or fifth groove line up from the bottom. And this flat surface would smash against the ball, and that allows the golf ball to launch off the face with backspin. And the club then would just continue into the ground. And that's why we take a divot after we strike the golf ball. Now, if I actually show you a golf ball, most range golf balls will have a stripe on them. And so you can actually use this concept when you're teaching someone or just putting your attention on how the golf club is coming into the golf ball. So again, we've got the equator, and in order to make it fly, we have to strike it below the equator. And so we use a lofted golf club and we make a descending angle of attack, and that will strike the golf ball below the equator. It's not a lot below the equator, but it is below the equator, up again around the third or fourth groove line. And that will compress the ball, launch the ball into the air with backspin, and then the club continues down on its descent until it strikes the ground and then starts to come back up. So, intention on where you're striking the golf ball with the club that you're using will help you either roll the ball intentionally or get the ball to launch into the air. Great concepts, especially for beginners, because they may not be certain exactly how this tool works in order to get the golf ball in the air. Thanks.